The significance of number two. There are many twos in the world. Takes two to tango. Two's company. And, of course, a house with a number two. And a yin and yang and so forth. But for me, the most important thing is to remember every day that there are two perspectives in life. So when you're negotiating or you have a lover, you must see their point of view. Elegant eccentric, I suppose, in my case. This is a difficult answer for me because I don't believe in Santa and I don't believe in gurus because I actually was brought up, I went to a Quaker school and we don't believe anybody is better than anybody else. And so that's why I find it very difficult to believe in gurus, even though I play them all the time and love being them. I've done many performances in Nutcracker and I hate it because there's not much dancing, there's all standing around and things happening. And actually I played quite an interesting, one of the only roles I played as a woman in that. Oh, Christmas pudding. Well, that's a difficult one because I try to avoid anything fattening. So they're not, neither of them are very good. So I might have to go for Nutcracker because it uses exercise and keeps me fit. Well, here we go. I was nominated for a BAFTA and I've never been nominated for an Oscar. So it'll have to be next time a BAFTA. Well, I think that I'm feral. I don't have a one-track image. My grandfather was a tailor and his family were tailors. I'm always tailoring, but I think I'm more feral as a tailor. I would prefer calm, but very often I'm chaos inside because I'm dyslexic. And as a dyslexic, everything goes all over the place. So I prefer to keep calm. I cannot stand chaos. I cannot stand an office desk which is all a mess, or a crew that don't know what they're doing. I like everything in line. I have to because otherwise I can't manage. So it would be calm. Amnesty is a solid unit that works all the time. Though both are worthy causes, one is a little bit more in your face. And the other is just bobbing along, doing things to save the planet, to sort things out, yeah. So it's amnesty. I don't believe in fighting, incidentally. I'm totally against war. I've always been a pacifist. Always. Again, because I was brought up in a Quaker school. Not religious. I tell you something. Advent's good because we are getting to show you who we are in a calendar. So Christmas Day always ends in arguments with the family. However hard you try my number two situation, I really believe that probably the Advent calendar is showing us. Costume should be couture. I believe that you should make costumes beautifully as couture would be made. The difference between a costume and couture is you may take a year to make something couture, whereas the costume maker has to make it in possibly a day. And it has to look just as good and you don't get any fittings. So that's why all you models out there, make sure your measurements are right, because otherwise you go to a fitting and nothing fits. Yes, so it has to be a bit of both. I love couture. I love the art. I could go on all day about that, actually. I don't approve of the male chauvinist attitude of James Bond. I think that he's very outdated now. Okay, it's fair enough. That's how it was. This would have been real fur in the past. And actually, I forgot to say, of course, my grandfather was not only a tailor, but he was a furrier. and I'm an animal lover. I wouldn't wear anything made of fur that hadn't been already eaten. I think Life of Brian because it's, forget the religious side of it, I'm not religious, but the actual fun, yes, fun. You've got to have fun. You've got to have a meeting where there's laughter, otherwise nothing gets really done properly. Everybody's so tense. So put on a good comedy movie when you're doing Brexit. That's what I reckon. Take that to the European Parliament. Life of Brian. Life of Brian. Ooh, if I say myself, that sounds selfish. If I say others, that makes me a bit sickly, doesn't it? But it's others, because otherwise I couldn't exist. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't got my parents. I've just had an interaction with a man mowing the lawn, and it was fantastic because we discussed how he looks after the lawn and how he's passing over the duties to somebody else. And I used to hate mowing the lawn when I was a child. My poor mother with rheumatoid arthritis had to do it all on her own. So any young people out there, help your mothers. And your fathers, of course. Okay, I did get a Hollywood award for doing the costumes for Bananarama's Venus. That's a very difficult one because I think I prefer the music of the Eurythmics. Sorry, Bananarama. I think it'll have to be, sorry, Bananarama. It'll have to be the Eurythmics. Well, I am a shoeaholic. I have more shoes than anybody on earth. But I just love shoes because, another old quote, once you've got your shoes, you've got your character. So I got these shoes today, right, and the red socks for Christmas, not that I normally wear red socks, and they make me walk in a different way. So therefore, if I'm going somewhere where I need to look elegant, I'll wear proper brogue shoes or really neat leather-soled shoes. The beard doesn't define me, it is just what is on my face. So therefore, I can get rid of this at any time. But I can't get rid of my shoes because I don't want to walk barefoot anymore. So right, it has to be shoes. I'm a freedom fighter, but I'm also, in control. So if I'm directing somebody, I explain to them that I'm both of these things and they'll get a lot of freedom, but I'm always there. So I will have to say freedom because if you stick in one place in your security, you never go anywhere. You don't go forward, you don't move forward, you don't do anything, you're stuck. So you have to have that freedom to go. Commitment is another one. Commit yourself. I commit myself to my cats, whatever. Freedom for me, personally, is taking on challenges, being out of my comfort zone, doing things that I'm never done before. I did work with Ronnie and with Bruce Forsyth. That I didn't see those two as the best partnership together. In my case, I won't say what I really think. The next generation. I love vintage clothes, vintage things. I've got a lot of very vintage things at home, 60s and even Victorian things, because they're beautiful. But we have to move to the future. I mean, it's all about young people. It's all about the future. Don't let's live in the past. We actually educate young people for what we know now, not for the future. We should be actually educating always for the future because it's not going to be like now, and we can move forward in a much better way that way.